In the last video, we deconstructed our numbers, and now we're actually going to go ahead and put them on our number line. So what I did was took the hundreds numbers and gathered them together and then grouped the tens and the one numbers off to the side. I can see that 96 plus 3 plus 54, I could build to another 100. So 96 plus 3 is 99. So if I borrowed one from 54, I would get 153. So now I can put these nice hundreds on our number chart. So I start at 0, I add 300, I add 500, 400, 100, and then the 53. So all together then, we have 1,353 grams, just as our base 10 pieces showed us. Further, number lines can help add, subtract grams, kilograms, and any other metric system number as well. Michael started hiking at the 2nd mile marker from a cabin. The number line shows the distance he hiked. How far did Michael hike that day? Well, if he started at the mile marker 2 and ended at 7, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles. Michael and Helen were partners for a relay race. Helen ran 3/4 of a mile. The number line shows the distance that Michael ran in miles. Michael says he ran further than Helen since he ended up a mile away. Helen says they ran the same distance. Who do you agree with? Explain to the other person why they are wrong. Let's first identify what Helen did. Helen ran 3/4 of a mile. I can see that from 0 to 1 mile, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts before I get to a mile. So each part is equal to 1/4 of a mile. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1. I see that Helen ran 3/4 of a mile. So let's say she started at 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. I can see that if I were to move Helen's bar over to Michael, that he also ran 3/4 of a mile. So even though he ended up at a further distance, he ran the same distance because he started a bit further than Helen did. We can measure distance at varying points on a ruler or number line, and the length does not change. No matter where we start, the length will stay the same. A constant length between the starting and ending points of an object on a ruler or number line can be expressed in many different ways. Oliver and Michael are reporting the distances they hiked to their PE teacher for extra credit. The number line shows their distances. How far did each student hike? Again, I see that each mile is broke into 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So I can see that, let's say this is Oliver here. He went 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4 a mile. And if I bring these arrows down here to look at Michael, he went the exact same distance as Oliver, even though he started at a different location. So each student hiked 6/4 of a mile. Itty Bitty the ladybug is training for the insectathon. Every day she takes a rundown ruler road. She gets bored easily, so she never starts or ends in the same place. While showing her friends the table she made to track her distance, Itty Bitty spilled her coffee and some of the numbers were smudged. Can you help her determine what the missing numbers were? So I have a ruler down here for us, and I have our chart. So we're going to start with Monday. So recall that the first column is start, the middle is end, and the last is total. So on Monday, we start at 1/4. We don't know where we end, but we know that we went a distance of 5/4. So we started at 1/4. So we need to go to the part where our number line is broke down into equal parts of 4. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So we start at 1/4. So I have an arrow where we start. And we went a distance of 5/4. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4. I see that we end at 6/4 on Monday. On Tuesday, we start at 2/8 and we end at 5/8. We want to know how far we traveled. So the in-between marks, these little ones, see that they split our 1 inch into eighths. So we start at 2/8, which should be here. Let's try that again. So she starts at 2/8 and she ends at a total of 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. How far did we go? So we can count. We went 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So she went a total of 3/8 distance on Tuesday. Go ahead and finish the remaining questions on your own and we'll come back together. Wednesday she ended at 11/2. Thursday she ended at 7/4. Friday you get to choose. Hopefully you chose something fun. Brock is building the perimeter of his sandbox. He has 3 boards that are 12 feet long each. The area of the sandbox is going to be 48 square feet. Explain whether or not you think you will have enough board length to build the perimeter. We have 3 boards that are each 12 feet long for a total of 36 feet of boards. So 3 times 12 is 36. So some possible options for the dimensions of our sandbox would be 1 by 48. So to find the perimeter, we add all of our outsides together. 1 plus 1 plus 48 plus 48 is 72 feet. 2 feet by 24 feet. So 2 feet plus 2 feet plus 24 is 52. We could do a 13-foot by 16-foot or a 6-foot by 8-foot, giving the possible perimeters. I only have 36 feet of board though. So I could not do a 1 foot by 48 feet because 72 is greater than 36. I also could not do a 2 foot by 24 foot because 52 feet is still greater than 36. 3 feet by 16 feet is getting closer, but still too many. It looks like we have 6 feet by 8 feet to get us a total of 28 feet of boards. Would have to be the dimensions of our sandbox. Find the area of each colored figure if each square is 1 square inch. Well, if each little box is 1 square inch, then I can simply count them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 square boxes filled in that are full. So the area is 5 square inches. Here I have only 4 that are full squares and I have some half squares, but I can combine them together. I can combine the 2 half squares on the left to give me 5 and the 2 half squares on the right to give me 6. The area is 6 square inches. Brock, Reba, and Van are comparing the sizes of their sandboxes. They each think that their sandbox is the largest. Determine the volume of each sandbox to compare and decide Whose sandbox has the largest volume? Brock's area of his sandbox is 48 square feet, but a height of 12 inches. Reba's area is 18 square feet. Her height is 3 times as big as Brock. And Van's area is 24 square feet, but his is double the height of Brock's. So recall that the product of the area of the base and the height of the right rectangular prism is equal to the volume. They're equivalent formulas that we can use to calculate the volume of a right rectangular prism. Length times width times height is equal to base times height, where base is the area of our base. And I'm giving you the area of each Brock, Reba, and Van. So Brock's volume is the area times its height. So his area is 48 square feet by 1 feet because 12 inches is equivalent to 1 foot. If we did 12 inches, we would get a number that is significantly higher. So it's important for students and for you to remember that we have to convert from feet to inches or inches to feet, whichever way, keep it the same throughout so that we can compare apples to apples, inches to inches, those kinds of things. So 48 times 1 is 48 cubic feet, which is Brock's volume. Reba's is 3 times as tall as Brock. So whatever height Brock had, which is 1 foot, Reba is 3 times as many. So her area is 18 square feet times her height is 3 feet, which is 54 cubic feet. And finally, Van is 24 square feet, and his height is double Brock's height. So double 1 foot is 2 feet. So 24 square feet times 2 feet is 48 cubic feet. When I compare their totals together, I see that Reba has the largest volume and Brock and Van are equivalent. So Reba has the largest volume. How many circles are there in all? Write down a number sentence that represents the total. Pause the video and take a moment to do this. We'll come back and talk about some possibilities. So you could have 3 times 8. So 3 times 8. You could have 4 times 6, which is half of 8 and double 3. You could have 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 3 plus 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 3, like we learned in 2nd grade. Alfonso said he figured out how many shaded circles there were first, and then how many unshaded circles there were second. Once he knew how many of each, he added them together to find the total. Write a number sentence Alfonso could have used that shows his reasoning. So when I look at the shaded portion, I have a 3 by 6. And I have a 3 by 2 for the unshaded portion. Multiplying them together and adding their result gives us a total of 24. So he took the unshaded plus the shaded. Jennifer said, I just saw 3 rows of 8 circles. Write a number sentence that Jennifer could have used that shows her reasoning. Her reasoning is 3 rows of 8. 3 times 8 is 24. The area model below shows the floor plan for a storage closet. The storage closet will have a tiled floor with gray tiles on the left and white tiles on the right. How many tiles are needed for the storage closet in all? Write down a number sentence that shows how you thought about it. Pause the video and we'll come back and talk about possible solutions.